Hello. Okay, how many of us are here? Two. Right.
अब तेरे परिवार पहले नहीं आते मुबारक हो। एक बार फिर आपके घर में सिर्फ एक ही औरत खुश रहेगी।
Okay, so before I start, could you all of you tell me how many of you have already taken the PTE, or is this your first time? Either you respond verbally or at least send a message in the chat box. Have you taken the PTE already, or is this your first time? Okay. What about the others? Yeah. And try to cut down the background noise. I'm not sure from where this background noise is coming, but please cut it down or mute yourself. Otherwise, yeah. You either mute yourself or try to cut down your background noise, whoever it is. Okay. I'm going to share my screen right now before I start talking about PTE, right? Okay. This is going to be a brief session on what is PTE, what are the modules, how you are scored, and what are the things that you as a student need to be aware of. Okay. So PTE has 4 sections: speaking, writing, reading, and listening, just like any other test. Right? I'm sorry, I'm still getting that background noise. Could you please mute yourself, whoever that is? I see some people who are on, who have unmuted yourself. Please mute yourself because I'm still getting the background noise.
No.
Okay.
It's someone Harsh Patel voice.
Okay. Yeah, Harsh Patel, is it? Okay. So can you please mute yourself, Harsh Patel? Please mute yourself.
हाँ.
Okay. Right. So as I said, PTE has four modules: speaking, writing, reading, and listening. Uh, so it is a computer-based test which will be for 2 hours. And there are two versions of PTE, PTE Academic and PTE Core. Uh, we're not going to look at PTE Core today. We are going to look at PTE Academic. So PTE Academic and PTE Core, the type of questions will be a little different. The kind of questions will be a little different. So now we are looking at PTE Academic. It's a 2 hour computer-based test, and you are scored based on your pronunciation, your fluency, your use of vocabulary, grammar, spelling, sentence structure. These are the things that you're scored on in your speaking and writing modules. Okay. So pronunciation means not accent. Okay. Please, if you have that feeling that, okay, pronunciation means accent, no, we're not talking about accent here. Pronunciation means using the right pronunciation. Okay. Accent is entirely a different thing, and correct pronunciation is a different thing. So don't confuse yourself. Accent is different, using the right pronunciation is different. Okay. So in speaking, the first section, yeah, before that, the total score for each module, that is speaking, writing, reading, and listening, is 90. Means 90 is the maximum that you can score in each of these modules. That is speaking out of 90, writing out of 90, reading out of 90, and listening is out of 90. Now, your overall will be calculated based on whatever you score in each module, and your overall will also be out of 90. So if you're applying for a student visa, you might require 60 or 70 or I don't know, depends on the university. It may be 60 or it may be 70, right? Okay. Now, let's look at the first module of which is read aloud. This is the order, the same order in which you will take the test in the real test. This is the exact same order. First, you will be taking the speaking test, and in speaking, these modules will appear as you see here. Read aloud, repeat sentence. First, read aloud. Second, repeat sentence. Third, describe image. Then, retell lecture. And then, answer short questions. And then, writing. Okay. And then, reading. And last module that you will be taking is listening. Okay. So, read aloud is a module in which you will have 6 to 7 questions. You will be asked. You will have 6 to 7 questions in this module. In this module, what you need to do is you will be given texts like this, as you can see in front of you on your screen. You will be given a text, maybe 3 lines or 4 lines, a short piece of text, and you have to read exactly as you see here, but with intonation. What do I mean by intonation? Intonation means uh, using the appropriate word stress. Uh, Pronunciation should be correct, and you should stress wherever stress is required. So, for example, if you read in a flat tone, like let's say you read like this: in Germany, over 100,000 tons of diapers are discarded each year, resulting in the wastage of valuable resources, diaper liners, which contain special polymers known as super. No, this is not the way you should read. You should read it like how they read news headlines. Have you guys watched news in English? Have you guys watched news in English? Any of you? Yes or no? If yes or no, just say yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. Uh, Fine. So how do they read? They read with intonation. So like this. In Germany, over 100,000 tons of diapers are discarded each year, resulting in the wastage of valuable resources. Diaper liners, which contain special polymers known as super absorbers, are among the materials that end up in landfills. However, researchers have made significant progress in enhancing the recycling process for these liners, leading to substantial improvements. So this is how you're supposed to read, with intonation, okay, and word stress. So pronunciation, fluency. Fluency means you shouldn't pause unnecessarily in between when you're reading. Like let's say you wanted to cough or you want to sneeze, that's okay. Other than that, you shouldn't unnecessarily you shouldn't uh, pause. Okay, that is where your fluency score will be affected. Okay. Uh, so read aloud the first section. You will get 6 or 7 questions in your exam. Next is repeat sentence. So repeat sentence, again, you will get 6 or 7 in your.
We will change the classroom because
So in this section, you will hear a sentence only once. Okay, let me make it very clear. You will hear a sentence, but it will be only once. It will be played only once. And as soon as you hear it, within 3 seconds, you have to repeat the sentence that you heard. Okay, let's play this. Let's see if you can hear it.
we will change the classroom because this one is too small.
What was the sentence? Did you guys hear it? Hear it or not? Guys, come on, please respond. This is an interactive session. It's not like a lecture where only one person speaks. So please respond. Did you hear
Yes,
the sentence or not?
sir.
Yes. So what did the speakers, what was the sentence?
We will change the classroom because this one is too small.
Hmm. So what is the sentence?
We will change the classroom because
Hmm.
it is very small. Like,
Okay. We will change the classroom because this one is very small. Okay. So you will hear a short sentence like this only once and you have to repeat immediately. Okay. So this section also requires a lot of presence of mind. Uh, it's not that easy. So you need to practice a lot. This and read aloud both require a lot of practice. Okay. Next is describe image. So describe image. Let's say, for example, you will get an image like this. It could be a bar graph. It could be a line graph. It could be a pie chart, or it could even be an image or a photograph or a diagram. It could be anything. So you need to look at this image in front of you. Whatever you understand by looking at this image, you will be given 25 seconds to analyze the image. And after 25 seconds, you will hear a beep sound and you have to start speaking. You have to describe the image that you see in front of you, and you have to do it within 40 seconds. In 40 seconds, you have to describe the image that you see in front of you. So let's see. Now, this is the image that you have here. As you can see, the timer has started, 25 seconds. After 25 seconds, you will hear a beep sound and then you have to describe the image. The bar graph illustrates information about the number of US households in which they keep pets. The total number of households in the US where they have pets is 84.9 million. Dogs are the highest kept pets in the US, followed by cats. The least kept pets are saltwater fish, which is 1.6 million, and horses, which is also the same. Reptiles account to 4.5 million, birds account to 5.7 million, and freshwater fish account to 11.5 million. Other type of pets are 5.4 million. You see, I gave an overview of the image. This is how you need to describe the image. Did you understand this?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is how you need to describe the image. Now, like this image, like this, in describe image, you will get 3 in your exam. So one, as I showed you, this is a bar graph. You might also have a line graph, or you might have a picture like this. See, like the one in front of you on the screen. You might even get a picture like this. So you'll get a total of 3 images. It could either be all of them could be graphs, or maybe one would be a graph, the other one would be a picture. It depends. We can't predict which one you would get. All right. Yes. Uh, Now retell lecture. So in this section,
As the world's population grows, and
you will
as the
be listening to a lecture. Normally, the lecture will be for about 1 or 1.5 minutes. Uh, the lecture would be about any topic. What you need to do is listen to the lecture, and while listening, you need to make notes about the key points that are discussed in the lecture. The key points that are discussed in the lecture, you're supposed to make notes. And once that's done, you can you have to summarize the lecture in your own words, and it has to be done within 40 seconds. Okay, so let's listen to this lecture, and then we'll discuss.
As the world's population grows, ensuring everyone has access to sufficient, nutritious food is a critical challenge. Sustainable farming practices offer a promising solution to this challenge. Firstly, sustainable farming involves methods that are environmentally friendly, such as reducing chemical use, conserving water, and promoting biodiversity. These practices are not only crucial for protecting our environment but also for ensuring long-term agricultural productivity. Healthy ecosystems are more resilient and can provide the resources needed for continuous food production. Secondly, sustainable farming includes a focus on local production and distribution. By supporting local food systems, we can reduce the carbon footprint associated with long-distance transportation of food. Additionally, local farming empowers communities, supports the local economy, and ensures fresher, more nutritious food reaches consumers. However, transitioning to sustainable farming requires effort and collaboration from various stakeholders, including governments, farmers, and consumers. It involves embracing new technologies, investing in education, and creating policies that support sustainable practices. In conclusion, sustainable farming is not just an environmentally responsible choice. It's a necessary step towards global food security and a healthier planet. By adopting these practices, we can ensure that future generations have access to the food they need to thrive.
All right. So yes, so you listen to the lecture. So tell me, what was the lecture about, and what are some key points that you gained from this lecture? One person, just tell me.
Population, farming, practice, environmental, sustainable farming.
Okay. Sustainable farming. Okay, that is the main thing. I mean, that's the topic of the lecture. Okay. In sustainable farming, what are the things that he discussed? Why is it important? What are the key things that he discussed in sustainable farming?
Environmental.
Okay, it helps to safeguard our environment and also helps to promote local products. We don't have to import or export. We can produce our own vegetables and fruits, right? He also mentioned uh, that sustainable farming needs the cooperative efforts from the government as well as the people. It cannot be done alone, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you
Al-
have to combine all these and make it into a summary and say it. So you can start by saying the lecture was about sustainable farming. The speaker discussed the importance of sustainable farming in today's world. He said sustainable farming helps to save the environment, and it also helps to promote local produce. And local produce helps to increase the economy of the place where the produce is being made. He mentioned that it is not an individual effort. Sustainable farming requires the assistance of both government and the people. Like this. This is how you need to summarize. Okay? This is how you need to retell the lecture. So, like this, like retell lecture, you will get only one in your exam.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, I saw someone raise their hand. I think Hetvi. Yes, tell me, Hetvi. You raised your hand, right? What happened? Okay, I don't know why she raised her hand. Anyway, so retail lecture, are you clear on retail lecture?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Okay, next, answer short questions. This is completely based on general knowledge.
What are breakfast?
Uh, uh, and
What are
this particular section of speaking does not carry a lot of weightage in your PTE score. Uh, so you don't have to really worry about it if you don't know the answers. What happens in this section is you will hear a question and you need to answer that question in which will be a one word answer, one word or two word answer, and it's completely based on general knowledge. So if you don't know the answers, don't worry about it. As I said, it is when it comes to the contribution of this section in your speaking score, the contribution is very less. I would say probably about 2 to 3% is the contribution of this module. I'm sorry, this section. Okay. You will get 4 or 5 questions like this in your exam. Let's listen to one question.
what are breakfast, lunch, and dinner examples of? What are breakfast, lunch, and dinner examples of?
Meal. Okay. He said, what are breakfast, lunch, and dinner examples of? The answer is what I said is meal. See, you can see. Can you see on my screen? Like this. You'll have 4 or 5 questions like this. If you know the answer, say it. If you don't know the answer, it doesn't matter. Okay. But these 4 modules, read aloud, repeat sentence, describe image, and retail lecture, are very, very important because the scores that you obtain in these 4 are interconnected with other modules. For example, let me tell you, see, read aloud, the scores that you get, a percentage of that goes into your reading module also. Okay? Read aloud. Repeat sentence, the score that you get, a percentage of that goes into your listening module. Retail lecture, the score that you get, a percentage of that goes into your listening module. So that is why these 4 are very important. And this is, as I said, has not much weightage. You don't have to worry much about this. You'll get only 4 or 5 questions, as I said. Okay, clear with the speaking module, people? Yes? Yes or no, people? Okay, probably, when did you join, Neeraj? Did you join late? Okay, answer short questions. You will have
What are
4 or 5
breakfast,
questions
lunch,
like
and
this
dinner?
in your exam, and they are
How many?
completely based on general knowledge. General knowledge. If you don't know the answer for these questions, it's okay. It doesn't matter. The weightage for this module is not much in your PTE score. But if you know the answers, you can give the answer. You will hear a question and you have to answer the question.
How many days does it take for a full moon to occur?
So you heard the question now, right? How many days does it take for a full moon to occur? The answer is 30 days. Okay. The answer is 30 days. So, like this, if you don't know the answer, it's okay. But don't skip it. Just say, I don't know, and move on. Okay. Don't skip any answer, please. In your text, in your exam, in your test, don't skip any answers. Even if you don't know, like in answer short questions, just say, I don't know, and move on to the uh, next one. See, 30 days is the answer. Yeah. And as I was saying, read aloud, a percentage of that will go into your reading module. Repeat sentence, whatever score you get, a percentage of that will be added to your listening module. Retell lecture, whatever score you get, a percentage of that will be added to your listening module. This is how the scoring works. But no, I'm not sure of the details. Details as in-depth scoring, because everything is done by AI. There is no human intervention. And that is one of the biggest advantages of this PTE exam, because there is no chance of bias. If there is a human being sitting there and checking your answers, obviously there is a chance of bias. So PT, you don't have to worry. Whatever you perform, uh, you will get the score that you deserve. You will get a score that you deserve based on your performance. There is no bias. Uh, okay. Now, writing. This is the second module.
Sir,
Yeah.
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਨਸਰ ਸ਼ਾਰਟ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਆ ਸਪੀਕਿੰਗ ਚ ਇਹਦਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਵਨ ਵਰਡ ਹੀ ਬੋਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਇਹਦਾ ਆਨਸਰ ਕੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ
Arshdeep, I'm sorry. I I I don't understand Punjabi. Can you speak in English or Hindi? It's okay. Can you speak in Hindi?
ओके सर सर ये वाला जो आंसर शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन है स्पीकिंग में इसमें हम ओनली वन वर्ड बोल सकते हैं
हाँ, one word
अगर
ही होता है ना. One word या two words कभी कभी. Depends on the question. It
ओके सर
depends on the question.
ओके सर
Okay. Yes. Now, writing, there are two modules in writing. The first one is summarize written text. So, summarize written text. So, you will have a large piece of text like this, and you will be given 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, you have to read this text and write a summary which should be not more than one sentence. I'll repeat, for this entire text, you should summarize this in one sentence, minimum 50 words and maximum 70 words. Okay? Minimum 50 words and maximum 70 words. You need to summarize this entire thing. First, you need to read it and write a summary. Minimum 50 words and maximum 70 words. Not less than 50, not more than 70. Please remember this. If you write less, you will be marked down. If you write more, you will be marked down. But if you write less, the negative, your marking will be reduced a lot. But if you write more, it's okay. They'll accept it. But if you write less, then you will get a very low score. Okay. Now, the rule here is you have to write a summary in one sentence of this whole thing. You have to summarize it in one sentence. And how you summarize it, you shouldn't use full stops in between. Please understand this very clearly. You shouldn't use full stops in between this one sentence. You have to summarize this entire thing in one sentence, and full stop should be used only in the end. You can use a comma in between anywhere you want. All right? You can use a comma, but you cannot use full stop in between. Okay? So let me write a summary for this so that you can understand what I mean by this. Okay? Um, Okay. So I have summarized it in my own way after I read the whole thing. Okay. I have written 56 words, as you can see. I have not put a full stop. I've not used a full stop anywhere. I've put a full stop in the end. So yeah, um, I have just taken the main points. So the main points of this, summary is bioluminescence. It says bioluminescence is the ability of certain animals to produce and emit light. Okay. Now, when I summarized it, I paraphrased it. Paraphrasing means using your own words and uh, writing the same thing. So bioluminescence cannot be paraphrased because it's a technical scientific term. You cannot paraphrase bioluminescence. So I've used the same. Now, is a feature. Here it says is a bioluminescence, the ability. So I have used the word feature. Is a feature that enables certain animals and marine species to produce light, which helps them stay away from predators. Predators means uh, other animals which try to hunt them. So here fireflies use bioluminescence, it says, to attract mates. Then if you scroll down a little bit, it says some deep sea creatures employ it as a form of camouflage. Camouflage means, I'm not sure if you know the army or the military uniform. Uh, they have the uniform which is in green color. It looks like leaves most of the time, or tree leaves. So why is that military or army people have that kind of uniform? It's called camouflage. It is to deceive the enemy, that they won't know whether it's a human or whether it's someone else. So same way, animals use this bioluminescence. Some animals use it to uh, deceive predators. Deceive means to cheat predators, the other animals which come to attack them. Okay, when they emit this light, the other animals will run away from them, thinking that it's something else. They will run away. So that is why it's used as a camouflage. Camouflage means staying away from predators or attackers. That is the meaning of camouflage. Okay, so now I've written that, and for many other purposes, I've written. See, species like fireflies, anglerfish, and plankton are capable of emitting light. Like here, it's mentioned anglerfish, plankton, and firefly are capable of emitting light. Okay. Extensive research is being conducted to find different ways in which bioluminescence can be used in medicine and biotechnology. So here it says scientists have been studying bioluminescent animals for years, not only to understand the biological mechanisms behind their light production, but also to develop new technologies. And the bioluminescence enzymes have been used in biotechnology, leading to advancements in medicine and genetics. So overall, I have written an overview. This is how you need to write a summary, guys. Okay, just the main idea of the entire passage. This is how you need to write. Short, in one sentence, 50 to 70 words. Okay, fine. Understood? Yes or no? Come on, people. Yes or no?
Yes.
Just, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Next is writing an essay. So, writing an essay. So, summarize written text. You might get one or two in your exam. Okay. And, so, writing essay, you have to write an essay on whatever the topic is. There is no template that you should follow. Let me make it very clear, people. You might have a lot of channels there out there on YouTube which will say, okay, just stick this template, you will score high in writing. It doesn't work like that. Please do not use templates for writing. As simple as that. Write your own introduction, write your own body para 1, body para 2, and conclusion. Okay? The format in which you should write your essay is this: introduction, body para 1, 2, and conclusion. You should have 4 paragraphs, ideally, in your essay. Let me repeat: introduction, body para 1, body para 2, and conclusion. Never ever use templates. There will be a lot of channels out there on YouTube which will tell you, please use templates, please use, use templates to score high. It doesn't work like that. PTE official Pearson itself tells you to stay away from templates. So please do not use templates. This is not, some kind of, you can't cheat AI, basically. You can't cheat humans, and AI is smarter than humans. I'm not kidding. I'm serious. AI is smarter than humans. You can't cheat AI. And templates will immediately be identified by AI. And obviously, you're not going to get any score if you use templates. So please avoid templates. Use your own words. Okay, what to write in introduction? See, introduction, what I suggest people about introduction should be a 3-part introduction. First part of your introduction should be a general background statement about the topic. So here the topic is, do you agree that mindfulness practices should be integrated into educational curriculum? Okay, does anyone know what is mindfulness? mindfulness. Does anyone know what is mindfulness? Just say yes or no, guys. Yes or no? If you don't know, just say no. It's okay. Nobody is going to judge you based on that. Just say yes or no. Okay. Okay. Mindfulness means practicing to be alert at all times. Okay. Being alert at all times. Being careful of what is happening around you. Knowing everything that is happening around you from time to time. That is mindfulness. So the topic of this essay is, do you agree that mindfulness practices should be integrated into educational curriculum? Means, do you think mindfulness should be taught to school children or children at school? Is it important to teach them? Yes, I agree. Okay. So now I will write the introduction just for you to understand how to write the introduction. Every topic is different. So one particular introduction will not work for every topic. That is why I say don't use templates. Okay. So as I said, I would normally write and tell my students to divide your introduction in 3 parts. First part is writing a general background statement about the topic. So what is the topic here? Do you agree that mindfulness practices should be integrated into educational curriculum? Okay. Okay. General background statement about the topic. I've written a statement about mindfulness. Mindfulness is an art, means it's a skill, right? Or an art. It's not something that you can have it just like that. Okay. And I believe it is an essential trait. Trait means essential quality. Everyone should possess, means everyone should have the skill of mindfulness. So that is my general background statement, which is part one of the introduction. Now, part two of the introduction will be rewriting the question. Rewriting the question means this question I have to rewrite in my own words. Okay. Okay. I have rewritten the question. Do you agree that mindfulness practices should be integrated into educational curriculum? I have rewritten in my own way. Okay, there is no specific template again. So I certainly believe that children should learn mindfulness at school, which will help them practice it throughout their life. So I believe that yes, mindfulness has to be taught to children right from the time that they're studying at school, because that will be helpful for them to practice it throughout their life. Okay, so I have given my opinion. Now, Body Para 1, for this topic in Body Para 1, I will write what are the advantages of mindfulness. And in Body Para 2, I will talk about what will happen if people are not practicing mindfulness in their life. And finally, conclusion. Conclusion usually should be a summary of everything that you covered in intro, Body Para 1 and Body Para 2. The summary can be very short, 3 or 4 lines. Summary is more than enough. And essay writing, you will get 1 or 2 questions in your exam. But remember, you only have 20 minutes to write your essay. And your essay has to be 200 to 300 words, minimum 200, maximum 300. And what you write in Body Para 1 and Body Para 2 or intro depends on the topic that you get. Okay? Please don't ask this question to me whether is there one common introduction that I can write for any topic? No, there isn't. There isn't any common introduction. No. You can't, it doesn't work like that. Right? So, yeah. So clear with essay writing?
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next is reading. In reading, you have 5 types of questions. So the first type of question is fill in the blanks. Why? Okay, before that, in writing, the score that you get in summarized written text, a percentage of that will be added to your reading score. Why? Because in summarized written text, you're reading a large piece of text where you are using your reading skills. So that is why a percentage of the score that you get in summarized written text will be added to your reading. Okay. Now, reading and writing fill in the blanks. Reading and writing fill in the blanks. Why does it say reading and writing fill in the blanks? Because here you are using your reading skills as well as your writing skills to choose the right word. from the list. So a percentage of the score that you get in this question type will be added to your writing module as well. Okay, right. Now, like this type of fill in the blanks, reading and writing fill in the blanks, you will get 4 or 5 in your exam. So how do you answer these questions? You need to understand the context of the entire material, the reading material that is there in front of you. You need to understand the context. What is the context of this passage first? Second, you need to read before the blank and after the blank. Like you need to complete that sentence. Only then you will be able to understand the context and you will be able to choose the right word. Okay. Again, for this, you need to have good vocabulary if you want to score high. And how to improve your vocabulary is you have to read, right? People who are from, national or regional education boards, you will find it a little difficult to understand everything in English initially, but only when you practice reading and writing in English more and more, you can improve. Otherwise, it's going to be tough. Yes, Varun Kumar. Yeah, tell me. What is it, Varun? Just type in the chat box whatever question you have, Varun. Okay, so let's do this together. The three-body problem is one of the oldest and most challenging puzzle in physics to the 17th century. Two. So what it means, what should be here should be a previous date, maybe, or a time period. Okay. See, dating back to the 17th century. Dating back means from that time it's happening. So dating back to. Now, if I analyze all the other options, grammatically also, they will not be correct. So if I pick running across to the 17th century, does it make grammatical sense? No. Taking off to the 17th century, grammatically, does it sound correct? Ruling out to the 17th century, does it sound grammatically correct? No. Dating back is the right option because they're talking about, they've given the, time period. Okay. Okay, dating back. It involves determining the motion of three bodies that interact with each other through gravity or other forces, such as the Earth, the Moon, and the Sun. Okay. The problem is blank, difficult to solve, as even small changes in the initial conditions can lead to unpredictable and chaotic behavior. Okay. The problem is closely difficult to solve. Do you think it's relevant? Does it sound correct? Closely related, closely difficult to solve. Do we say that? Closely difficult to solve? Yes, just say yes or no, people. Can we say closely difficult to solve? Can we say implicitly difficult to solve? Do you know the meaning, first of all, for these words, implicitly, notoriously, and arrogantly? Do you know the meaning of these words? Closely difficult to solve? No. Okay, do you know the meaning of the other words implicitly? Do you know the meaning? Yes or no? Just tell me yes or no. That's all I want.
No, sir.
No. Okay. Arrogantly, do you know what is the meaning of arrogantly?
No, sir.
Hmm. Notoriously. Okay. Notorious means very, very complicated. Okay. Extremely difficult or notoriously difficult. So if there was the word extremely here, I would have chosen that. But instead of extremely, there is notoriously, which means it's very, very complicated. Extremely complicated, extremely difficult. Okay, so notoriously is the correct answer. It's very tricky. Okay, very, very tricky. That's why I said extremely complicated. So notoriously is the option. Uh, as I said, see, this is the thing. If your vocabulary is good, you won't take even 2 minutes to finish this entire thing. So you need to practice reading a lot. Only then you can improve your vocabulary. Okay, there are no tricks to score high in reading. Let me make it very clear. There are no tricks. Okay. To test the flux theory, the researchers conducted computer simulations, expensive computer simulations, exclusive computer simulations, extensive computer simulations, and expanded. Which one do you think would be appropriate? First, second, third, or fourth?
First.
Expanded? You sure? I think it's extensive. Extensive means detailed. Okay, detailed. Expanded means, doing something on a large scale. Expanded. That is different. Expensive means costly. Okay. We're not talking about money here, so that is not appropriate. Exclusive means it's only for that purpose. That word will not suit here. So I believe it's extensive, means detailed. Okay. Next, the results showed a remarkable agreement with an accuracy of 6% across the entire two-dimensional space of variables. Account students, commerce students here in this batch. What is variables? What do you do with variables? You examine them, you deduct them, you propose them, or you spread them. What do you do? Have you heard this term variable? What do you do with variables, guys?
Exam, sir.
Examine?
Yes. Third option, sir.
I think it's deducting the variables.
Okay.
Okay. The last one. The theory can also pave the way for further research and discovery in the field of physics, maybe, or realm with region of physics, margin of physics, survey of physics. No, they are not appropriate. Realm of physics. Realm means the world of physics or the field of physics. Okay. Okay. Uh, One wrong. Yeah, you were right. Examined. Anyway. So yeah. So this is how you need to figure out your answers, people. You need to understand the context and then choose your answers. So my suggestion for this section is understand the context, and then it will be easy for you to get the answer. And grammatically also, put each word in the drop down and see which word suits grammatically. Obviously, when you choose the word grammatically, if it is incorrect, you will know, okay, if I put this word here, will it be grammatically right or not? Okay. So that is the way you need to do it. And I would suggest that do not spend more than 2.5 to 3 minutes per question in reading, because in reading you do not have a separate timer for each question. Overall, you will have only half an hour for reading. So this is question type number 1. Fill in the blanks, reading and writing. So you will get 4 or 5 like this. Next is multiple choice, multiple question. So in this section, you will get only 1 or 2 in your exam. So you will have a text like this, a long text, and you will have a question. More than one answer is correct. Okay, not just one. More than one answer is correct. But there is a catch. Uh, in multiple choice, multiple question, you have negative marking. Negative marking means, uh, let's say, for example, for this question, A, C are correct. Okay, the correct answers are option A and C. But I choose B and C, which means out of the 2 correct answers, I have chosen 1 correct answer and the other I have chosen a wrong answer. How much will I get? 0. I will not get 1 mark because I chose 1 correct answer. So there is negative marking. So when you're answering multiple choice, multiple answer, make sure that if you don't know both the correct options, just choose one which you are 100% sure that it is correct, and leave it at that, so that you will not get 0, at least you will get 1. But if you choose one wrong and 1 correct, you're going to get 0. So in that case, to play safe, what you should do is only choose the one that you're absolutely sure and leave the rest. Okay? So now let's do this. Which of the following statements is true? Okay, digital interventions typically require patients to log into a software program without interaction. Uh, See, it's mentioned here. Digital interventions typically require patients to log into a software program. So I'm going to choose this. I'm very sure that this is correct. So I'm choosing that. Okay. It says without interaction. So I'm not going to choose that, because here it says typically require patients to log into a software program, website, or app to read, watch, listen to, and interact. So it has interaction, but here it says without interaction. So that is not correct. So I'm not going to choose that. Next, teletherapy is not identical with digital interventions. So what do you mean by identical? Identical means same, similar, not same, similar. See, teletherapy and digital interventions both are the same. That's the statement. So let's see. Digital interventions are not the same as teletherapy. So this is also not true. I'm not choosing this. Okay. Computer-based and smartphone-based therapy can be just as effective as face-to-face psychotherapy. So where is this mentioned, if at all it is mentioned? Here it says, computer and smartphone-based treatments appear to be effective in reducing symptoms of depression. And while it remains unclear whether they are as effective as face-to-face psychotherapy. So we are not sure whether it is as effective as face-to-face psychotherapy. So here in option C, it says computer-based and smartphone therapy can be just as effective as face-to-face psychotherapy. But over there, it says we are not sure. So I'm not going to choose that either. C. D. Video conferencing can be a viable method in teletherapy to promote one-on-one psychotherapy. Viable means very useful. That is the meaning of viable. Okay. Teletherapy uses video conferencing or telephone services to facilitate one-on-one therapy. Means to enable one-on-one psychotherapy. We use video conferencing in teletherapy. So yes, this is true. So I'm choosing this. Okay. Computer-based and smartphone-based treatments are the only solution to the growing mental health needs triggered by the COVID-19 pandemic. So computer-based and smartphone-based treatments are the only solution to the growing mental health needs triggered by the pandemic. Um, it's not mentioned anywhere here. So I'm not choosing that. Okay. To be safe, I just chose one. Okay. I just chose one. See, I got correct answers are B and D, but to be safe, I chose one. I got one. If I had chosen, let's say, if I had chosen A and D, how much did I get? 0. I will get 0. Okay. So this is what is negative marking in this section. So in this section, you will get 1 or 2 questions. Next is reorder paragraphs. Okay, so reorder paragraph, uh, you will get 2 or 3 questions in reorder. So here you will have a jumbled paragraph. Okay, the sentences will be jumbled, will not be in the right order. You need to put them in the right order. So for that, what you need to identify the topic sentence. How do you identify a topic sentence? The topic sentence always starts with a proper noun, or proper noun means the name of a person, the name of a place, or anything. The name, the naming word is the noun. It will either start with a proper noun or with an article like the, a, and an, followed by a proper noun. If you just see the article alone, the, a, or an, without a proper noun after that, then don't choose that. Proper nouns, it will start with a proper noun or with the article the, and followed by a proper noun. That is the topic sentence. Topic sentence will never start with connecting words like these, those, that, this, since, thus, although, however. So these kind of, if the sentence starts with these kind of words, then it is not the topic sentence. It is not the first sentence. Okay. So in this jumbled paragraph, livestock farming is a notable contributor to greenhouse gas emissions. Okay. Thus, innovative strategies are required to create more sustainable livestock systems. Thus, do you think this is the first sentence? No, because it starts with a connector. While efforts are being made to reduce this impact, while again is a connector. No, that is not the first sentence. These emissions, these, no, this is not the first sentence. What is the first sentence? Livestock farming. Livestock. Livestock is a proper noun. So this is the first sentence. Now you need to find a connection between this and the next sentence. How do you find connection based on the sentence? So livestock farming is a notable contributor to greenhouse gas emissions. So contributor to greenhouse gas emissions. Now, this sentence, thus innovative strategies are required to create more sustainable livestock systems. Uh, I don't see a connection between this uh, because there is no connect. I don't see any connection between this because if there is a connection, then it should be these. Because normally, how connections can be identified is if you look at the last part of the sentence, greenhouse gas emissions. The next sentence will start with these emissions or these like that. So which sentence is that? Fourth one. These emissions are primarily from enteric fermentation in ruminants and manure management. So greenhouse gas emissions, these emissions are coming from these processes. Okay. Now, while efforts are being made to reduce this impact, balancing food production with environmental concerns remains a challenge. So, there are efforts which are being made to reduce the impact, but maintaining a balance between food production and environment is a challenge. That is why, that is why innovative strategies are required to create more sustainable livestock systems. So this is how you need to uh, order your paragraphs. See, okay. Now each correct pair gets 1 mark. So 1 and 4 is a pair, so you get 1 mark for that. 4 and 3 is another pair, you get 1 mark for that. 3 and 2 is another pair, and you get 1 mark for that. So 3 pairs, 3 marks, 3 out of 3. This is how it is calculated. Okay, you will get 2 or 3 like this in your exam. So next is reading fill in the blanks. It's similar to this fill in the blanks, but here the difference is the use of collocations is high in this section. Do you know what is a collocation, people? Do you guys know what is a collocation? Yes or no? No or yes? Just say yes or no. That's all. Okay. Collocations means they are a combination of a noun and a verb. It could be a combination of an adverb and an adjective, a noun and an adjective, verb and preposition. Uh, so these are called collocations. Okay. So traditional education systems often blank for their excessive focus on uh, rote learning. Okay. Uh, Education systems often criticize. Why did I choose criticize? Because the sentence after the blank is negative. You know what is the meaning of this word? ROTE, learning. Do you know the meaning of rote learning? Means memorizing, right? The teacher writes some stuff on the board and then they tell you to copy it, read it 100 times, and then test you on your memory. That is what is happening in many schools even today, right? They ask you to write down things on the board, and they ask you to copy it in your notebook, memorize it 100 times, and then they conduct a test on to see how well you remember that. So rote learning and standardized testing. So criticized. So they are being criticized for excessive focus on this. Modern educational theorists blank for methods that emphasize critical thinking, creativity, and practical skills. So modern educational theorists argue for methods, means they want a method, education method. For that, they are arguing. Educational theorists are arguing for new methods that focus more on critical thinking, creativity, and practical skills. Okay, this shift reflects the need for education to dash to the changing demands of the 21st century. Overlap, fund, fluctuate, no, adapt. Adapt means to change, to become flexible. Okay, so adapt to the changing demands of the 21st century. Like this, you're going to get 4 or 5 in your exam. Okay, finally, multiple choice single. Here, there is no negative marking because it's only one answer. And in this, you will get 1 or 2 questions in your exam. Only 1 or 2. Okay. And this is pretty easy also. So you will have a passage like this, and you will have a question. You have to choose the right answer. That's it. The passage is an excerpt from a longer essay. According to the last sentence, what may the remaining part of the essay be about? So according to the last sentence, you need to guess what content is going to be there in the upcoming part of the essay. Okay. So the last sentence says, if you need, from here, see, if you need help explaining social distancing to children, you can use the information below to help make social distancing easier for kids to understand. So after this, the essay will give some information about social distancing in a way that children can understand. Okay. So option A, more detailed professional information on mechanisms of social distancing. Do you think children are going to understand detailed professional information? No. A more simplified and interesting description about social distancing. Simplified and interesting. Do you think children will understand information if it is in a simple way? Yes. Experimental evidence? No, they're not going to understand. So, in this section, there is no negative marking. You're going to get only 1 or 2 like this. So, in the entire PTE test, there are only 2 places where you will have negative marking. One is in reading multiple choice multiple and listening multiple choice multiple. These are the only 2 places where you are going to have negative marking. Okay. Now listening, final module. In summarized spoken text.
In our fast-paced, ever-changing world, resilience. In our
Summarized spoken text is the first section. You will get only 1 in your exam, like this, summarized spoken text. It is similar to retail lecture and speaking. You will hear a lecture here also. But the difference is, in speaking retail lecture, you will speak. You will summarize the lecture verbally. But here, you will summarize the lecture in writing. That is the only difference. Okay. Uh, let's listen to this.
In our fast-paced, ever-changing world, resilience has become more crucial than ever. Resilience is not about avoiding difficulties, but about navigating through them. It's the skill to bounce back from adversity, a trait that can be developed and strengthened over time. For example, someone who overcomes a personal loss and finds a way to grow from the experience demonstrates high resilience. But how do we cultivate this resilience? It begins with fostering a positive mindset, practicing self-care, and building strong social connections. Mindfulness and cognitive behavioral techniques can also be instrumental in developing coping strategies. Furthermore, resilience isn't just an individual journey. Supportive environments, whether in families, workplaces, or communities, play a vital role in nurturing resilience. Recognizing and managing stress, providing emotional support, and encouraging open communication are key factors. Understanding and developing psychological resilience can profoundly impact our well-being. It equips us to handle life's challenges more effectively, leading to improved mental health and overall life satisfaction.
I'm not writing the complete summary. I'm just giving you an example. So, whatever I heard in the lecture, I need to summarize it in my own words, and it has to be minimum 50, maximum 70, including the time that you take to listen to the lecture. You have 10 minutes. So, the lecture will be for about 1 or 1.5 minutes. And after that, you will have another 8 minutes, maybe 8.5 minutes to summarize it. Okay. So for retail lecture and for summarized written text, what I want you to do, what I want you to understand is, please take notes. Only if you take notes, you can uh, answer these questions very well. If you don't take notes, you cannot answer them well. Obviously, when you practice a lot, when you become an expert, then you don't need notes. But until that time, you need to take notes. Okay, please ensure that you take notes, and you will get only one question like this in your exam. And the score that you get in this section, summarized spoken text, a percentage of that is added in your writing also, writing module. Okay, next, multiple choice, multiple. Same like reading, but here
Both men and
here you will listen to a recording and you need to choose two correct answers, two or more. It depends. Some questions might have three also, but not one. It will be more than one. If you choose one, and if that one is correct, then you will get 1 mark instead of two. Okay, but if you choose one correct and one wrong, you will get 0.
Both men and women gained weight, but when it came to race, black women had the most rapid weight gain, followed by white women and then black and white men. The weight gain was just a few pounds, but even a slightly higher BMI is associated with weight-related health issues. Several reasons exist for the weight discrepancy between the single and married people. For example, married men and women may be less concerned about their body weight because they're no longer actively seeking a mate. Plus, married people have a regular dining partner, possibly leading to more meals. On the single side, those who are widowed or have gone through a divorce may lose weight due to stress. So while this news may not be good for the smug marrieds, it may be welcomed by Bridget Jones. The single and very weight-conscious Jones may actually have had the easier path to staying thin than her married friends.
So she mentioned about these 2 points. They have regular dining partners. And she also said that they are no longer actively seeking a mate. The same meaning, because they don't need to find a mate. So I chose these 2 options. So both of them are correct. So like this, you will get 2 questions maybe in your exam. This type of question, multiple choice. Fill in the blanks. This is very critical.
So,
Uh,
so,
you will get 4 or 5 like this in your exam. See, here, whatever you see here in front of you is the same thing that you will hear. Okay? And the words that are missing in between, you need to listen to the conversation and type those words that you listen to. So I normally don't take notes. I listen. As I listen, I type. But what you should do initially when you're starting to practice, you should write down all the words in the blank. And once the recording is over, put it on your, fill it in the blank. Okay. In the exam also, you're allowed to carry a,
Not
they will give you a marker and
not
a paper for you to make notes in your exam. Okay. Okay. Let's listen to this.
so, what is quantum mechanics? Even though it was discovered by physicists, it's not a physical theory in the same sense as electromagnetism or general relativity. In the usual hierarchy of sciences, with biology at the top, then chemistry, then physics, then maths, quantum mechanics sits at a level between maths and physics that I don't know a good name for. Basically, quantum mechanics is the operating system that other physical theories run on as application software, with the exception of general relativity, which hasn't yet been successfully ported to this particular OS.
Okay. So this requires a lot of presence of mind and practice. And if you make a spelling mistake, you will lose marks. Okay. Out of the 6, let's say one of them you made a spelling mistake. So out of 6, you will get 5, like that. Okay. So this type of question, you will get 4 or 5 in your exam. Next, highlight correct summary. This you will get 1 or 2. Okay. So you will hear a conversation or a recording. Whose background noise is that? Okay. Yeah. You will hear a recording and you have to listen to the recording and choose what, according to you, which is the best summary for the entire conversation based on what you heard. which one is the best suited summary? So you need to pay very, very close attention to listen. If you want to take notes, you can, but it's useless. Just listen and understand it because it's only for 1 minute.
Always try to best understand your partner's specific communication styles. A lot of times we'll take it personally if we notice someone's avoiding us or they're communicating with us less frequently than we'd like. And this doesn't mean that they don't care about you, they don't respect you. This is likely how they were modeled communication as a child. Your partner's communication style typically comes from how their caregivers communicated with each other. You should feel comfortable asking your partner, how do you best handle conflict? Also, some people struggle with verbal communication. So if that's the case, you may want to ask your partner to write down what they're feeling. And this way they won't feel so overwhelmed. Finally, know that communication requires compromise. So if you have a completely different communication style from your partner, know that it's going to be a work in progress until you figure out how you're both best going to communicate.
So based on what I heard, she talked about three things. She talked about understanding your partner's way of communication. Then she said, if you ask your partner, if you're not feeling comfortable to express yourself verbally, you may want to ask them to write their feelings down. Then she talked about compromise. She used the same word, compromise, and she said, because your partner has a different style of communication, it will take time for you to settle down. So that is why I chose option C. So this type of question, you will get 1 or 2 in your exam.
सर
Okay.
ऐसे क्वेश्चन में जो लास्ट में रिपीट बोल कर जाएगा वो ज्यादातर वो आंसर होता है.
See, it's not like that. ऐसा नहीं है. It depends on what the speaker is uh, trying to stress on. कौन से point पे stress कर रहे हैं. तो अभी मैंने जो बोला ना कि उन्होंने communication style understand करने के लिए बोला है. That she said. उतना तो उसने बोला. फिर उसने ये भी बोला कि you may want to ask them to write down what they feel. वो भी उसने बोला. अलग तरीके से बोला लेकिन वही बोला. मीनिंग वही है.
ओके सर.
एंड लास्ट में ये भी बोला कॉम्प्रोमाइज के बारे में. सो इट्स नॉट लाइक ऑलवेज इट इज द लास्ट सेंटेंस. ऐसा नहीं है. बट मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम लास्ट फ्यू लाइंस में तुम्हें आंसर मिल जाएगा.
ओके सर.
है ना. ओके. सो नेक्स्ट इज मल्टीपल चॉइस सिंगल. Similar to reading.
There's growing alarm over plunging insect populations with climate.
You will listen to
Washington
a
is
recording and choose one answer which is correct. You will get 1 or 2 like this in your exam.
Washington is a monumental city, a showcase capital with iconic views. And that's because most planned public projects go through the Commission of Fine Arts, a presidentially appointed panel established by Congress in 1910.
The idea was to really lift the image of the city as an important international capital and to really push that idea of dignity and beauty and all these things that really contribute to the image of the city.
A was the answer. Anyway, to provide suggestion how to lift the image of Washington. He said the idea was to lift the image of the city. The idea behind the Commission of Fine Arts. So one or two you will get like this. So you need to choose only one answer. Okay. Next is select missing word. In select missing word section, again you will get maybe 2 or maybe 3 in your exam. We cannot predict exactly how many questions you will get. So here,
Do you
it's a
need
little
rigid
different.
systems?
Maximum you will get only 2, not more than that. You will hear a recording, okay? You have to pay very close attention to the recording because it's a very short recording and there is no point in taking notes. So practice active listening skills. Active listening skills are very important here. Active listening means listening for detail, okay? Passive listening is just listening. Passive listening will not work here. Active listening is required. Okay. Yes. So you will hear a recording, and the last word of the recording will be replaced with a beep sound. The last word of the recording will not be played. You can't hear the last word. Instead of the last word, you will only hear a beep sound. So based on the rest of the recording, you need to guess which word is the last word. Okay.
Do you need rigid systems in place all the time? People who compulsively control everything usually do so to protect themselves and others from making mistakes or getting hurt. While having systems in place isn't a bad thing, being too rigid can also be problematic. According to NY-based mental health counselor Diane Webb, a person with over-controlling tendencies can get triggered by anxiety if even just one thing isn't in place. Instead, try to ground yourself and focus on the things that you can.
Last, what did she say? Try to ground yourself and focus on the things that you can. And then there was a beep. The things you can control. So listen to the last few words. You'll understand and you'll get the answer. So yeah, like this, you will get 1 or 2 in your exam. Next is highlight incorrect words. This is the easiest of all.
What we're going to find out today is how.
Okay, this is the easiest of all in listening.
What we're going to find out today is how it's. What we're going to find out today is how it's a bit more complicated than that, which it always is, and I think it's really wonderful. I mean,
okay, you will hear.
If you've ever wondered,
the same thing that you see in front of you on your screen is what you will hear in the recording, but there are certain words in this text that is there in front of you, which are not the actual words that the speaker says. You need to highlight those words that the speaker doesn't say. Okay?
if you've ever wondered where the Earth came from, the answer, it seems, is blowing in the wind, the solar wind, or so say scientists who, after examining solar wind samples collected by the Genesis spacecraft, conclude that the inner planets of our solar system formed a little differently than we'd thought. The work appears in the journal Science. Our solar system arose from a large rotating cloud of interstellar debris called the solar nebula. The sun came first, and the planets followed not long after. But the new study shows that the ratio of oxygen and nitrogen isotopes found in the solar wind is different from the ratio here on Earth, or on the Moon, or Mars. We've got more of the heavier versions of these atoms than our sun does. Now we just have to figure out why. Scientists say the excess heavy nitrogen could have come from a comet, and the heavier oxygen from a natural process that left more of the light isotope in the part of the nebula that made the sun. So we are made of star stuff, but when it comes to our elemental composition, we're not a carbon copy. Thanks for the minute. For Scientific American's 60-Second Science, I'm Karen Hopkin.
Okay, so she said, if you've ever wondered, but here it's tatered, so that's wrong. So like that, whatever words she says which is not here, you have to highlight. That is how you need to answer this question. This is the easiest out of all in listening. And you will get 5 like this, maybe 5 or 6 like this in your exam. Okay. And finally, write from dictation. This is similar to
It is important.
This is similar to repeat sentence in speaking. Repeat sentence in speaking, you will hear a sentence and you'll have to repeat it verbally. Here, you will hear a sentence and you will have to write it down. The same sentence that you hear, you need to write it down. So this type of question, you're going to get 4 or 5 in your exam.
It is important to plan your study time carefully. It is important to plan your study time carefully.
See? So, for every correct word, you will get 1 mark. If you put one word wrong in between, you'll lose 1 mark for it. If you make a spelling mistake, you'll lose mark for it. So, whatever sentence you hear, you need to type it. That's it. You'll get 4 or 5 like this in your exam. Okay, so that is PTE. It's a 2-hour computer-based exam, as I said. Results are typically available within 2 days from the day you take your exam. And it is accepted in almost all the English-speaking countries for your student visa. And PTE core, as I said, is for PR, and that too, it is only for Canada. It's not for any other country. So if you don't confuse yourself with PTE core and PTE academic. PTE core is not for you if you're applying for a student visa. If you're applying for a PR, you can take PTE core, and that too if you're applying for PR in Canada, because PTE core is valid only in Canada, and that too for PR. Please understand this. Okay. So any other questions before I sign off?
ਸਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਰ जो जे वाले डिक्टेशन है, जे आप हमारे को 6 वर्ड आए डिक्टेशन में, वो 6 वर्ड ही जाके राइटिंग में ऐड हो जाएंगे 6?
हाँ, इसका स्कोर भी राइटिंग में ऐड होगा। हाँ,
ओके सर, वैसे उतना ही हो जाता है जितना जितने हमारे ठीक हो, जहाँ पर जे अपने 6 वर्ड ठीक है तो 6 ही जाकर राइटिंग में हो जाएगा कि
नहीं,
राइटिंग?
एग्जैक्ट मार्क परसेंटेज का मुझे पता नहीं, एआई का कैलकुलेशन का, बट
ओके
एक परसेंटेज इसका स्कोर राइटिंग में जाता है बस। और राइट फ्रॉम डिक्टेशन में हर सेंटेंस अलग होता है। तो इस सेंटेंस में 9 वर्ड्स थे, ऐसा भी सेंटेंस हो सकता है जिसमें 11 वर्ड्स हो सकता है या 12 वर्ड्स हो सकता है। वी कैन नॉट प्रेडिक्ट, वो हम प्रेडिक्ट नहीं कर सकते।
ओके सर। सर एक मुझे मेरे को लेट हुआ था, नेटवर्क प्रॉब्लम थी, मेरे को रिपीट सेंटेंस दोबारा बता सकते हो?
रिपीट सेंटेंस, ओके। See, repeat sentence में क्या है? You will hear a sentence only once, एक ही बार सुनाई देगा। और जो सेंटेंस तुम्हें सुनाई देता है वही सेंटेंस तुम्हें बोलना है verbally. You have to say that sentence.
The bus by the building goes directly to the central bus station.
The bus by the building goes directly to the bus station.
ओके सर।
ऐसे ऐसे 6 या 7 आएंगे एग्जाम में।
ओके सर।
और ये the bus by the ये स्पीकिंग का है रिपीट सेंटेंस। राइटिंग सॉरी, the bus by the building goes directly to the bus station. ठीक है?
ठीक है सर।
Anything else, people? Others?
सर एक रीड अलाउड में जो वर्ड हमसे नहीं प्रोनाउंस होते वो स्किप कर देने हैं?
जो प्रोनाउंसिएशन तुम्हें आता है वो करो, स्किप मत करो कुछ भी।
ओके सर।
कुछ भी स्किप मत करो। जैसे कुछ रीड अलाउड में कुछ ऐसे भी होते हैं जो तुम्हें समझ में नहीं आते होंगे, लाइक प्रोनाउंसिएशन टफ होगा तुम्हारे लिए। फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे ये है, इसका नाम, ये देखो, इसका प्रोनाउंसिएशन शायद तुम्हें पता नहीं होगा। तो ऐसा नहीं कि छोड़ ही देना, बोलना जो भी तुम्हें आता है। Tattoos, we lock, जो भी बोलना है बोल दो, बट स्किप मत करो। पॉज मत करो।
ओके सर। सर मैंने रिसेंट एग्जाम दिया है, बट मेरे 2 एग्जाम में रिपीट हुआ है स्कोर। और
हम्म,
वहां पर मुझे ऐसे नहीं पता लग रहा कि मेरे को प्रॉब्लम वहां पर क्या हुई। वैसे मेरे स्कोर टेस्ट में सही आ रहे थे, वहां पर मेरे ओवरऑल 43 स्कोर आए हैं। जब मैंने जनवरी
अच्छा
में
अच्छा।
दिया था तो
किसमें कौन
ओ
से मॉड्यूल में कितना?
सर के लिसनिंग में मेरी एक डिक्टेशन मिस हो गई थी, स्किप हो गई थी। 2 डिक्टेशनें की थी मैंने, एक
हम्म।
स्किप हो गई, उसकी वजह से डिक्टेशन में नेगेटिव इफेक्ट पड़ा। और नदर में स्पीकिंग की वजह से मेरे थोड़े मेरे प्रोनाउंसिएशन की प्रॉब्लम है, मेरे से प्रॉपर नहीं बोला जाता है।
ओके, प्रोनाउंसिएशन के लिए यू हैव टू प्रैक्टिस टंग ट्विस्टर्स।
ओके सर।
Okay, tongue twisters, and you need to understand phonetics very well. Okay, so phonetics, anyway, obviously I'm not going to take phonetics class now. It'll take another 3 hours. But yeah, phonetics is in English. I'm not sure how many of you know this, but English has 44 phonetic sounds, 44, 20 vowel sounds, and 24 consonant sounds. So
ओके
obviously you're not going to understand all of that immediately, but as you practice pronunciation, I want you to every day before you start your speaking practice, start with tongue twisters.
ओके सर। सर एक हम लिसनिंग, जब अपनी लिसनिंग होती है तब अपने मतलब कि आपको जो वाला टाइम चल रहा है, आप डिक्टेशन में कितने कितना टाइम बचा कर रखना है कि हमारी डिक्टेशन कंप्लीट हो जाए। जैसे मेरी एक डिक्टेशन मेरे को सुन तो गई थी, मैं नोटबुक पर उनका फर्स्ट फर्स्ट वर्ड लिख ली जब मेरा स्किप हो गया था। वो कह
हाँ,
रहे थे कि
लेकिन वही ना, राइट फ्रॉम डिक्टेशन तो बहुत छोटा है, बहुत शॉर्ट है। तो उसमें तुम लिखने की जरूरत क्या है अलग से? तुम डायरेक्टली वहां पे ही लिखो ना, सुनते सुनते उसका प्रैक्टिस करो,
ओके
डायरेक्ट
सर।
लिखने का।
ठीक है
हाँ,
सर।
वो ज्यादा बेटर रहेगा ना, क्योंकि तुम एक वहां लिखते लिखते वहां सेंटेंस ही खत्म हो जाएगा और तुम्हें आधा आधा लिखा होगा, आधा छोड़ दिया होगा। फिर
यस सर।
क्या मतलब है
हाँ
फिर
जी।
उसका, है ना?
ओके हाँ जी। सर एक अमेज में हमने टेम्पलेट वगैरह यूज करना है जो हम अमेज बोलते हैं।
टेम्पलेट तो चूज करना ही नहीं। मैं पहले सेशन के शुरू में मैंने क्या बोला?
हाँ जी सर।
टेम्पलेट चूज मत करो। टेम्पलेट कोई काम का नहीं है, क्योंकि हर जैसे रिटेल लेक्चर में अगर तुम टेम्पलेट यूज करोगी तो क्या टेम्पलेट यूज करोगी? ठीक है, दिस लेक्चर इज अबाउट, बस अबाउट,
अ,
उसके बाद क्या, किसके बारे में है, वो तो बोलना ही है
सर
ना?
हमें वहां पर जैसे ही कराते थे, जैसे हम बोलते हैं द लेक्चर वाज अबाउट, फर्स्टली ही टोल्ड अबाउट, देन ही फर्दर एक्सप्लेन, उसके बाद 2-3
हाँ, वो
कीवर्ड।
ठीक है, बट उसके लिए तुम्हें थोड़ा बहुत रिटेल लेक्चर का थोड़ा बहुत जो उन्होंने बोला कंटेंट, वो तो तुम्हें लिख के रखना चाहिए ना।
यस सर, वो
तभी
वाले
तो
हाँ।
तुम बोल पाओगी ना।
यस सर, कीवर्ड लिखने हैं।
हाँ, तभी तो तुम बोल पाओगी।
यस सर।
और
वैसे
एसए में तो बिल्कुल टेम्पलेट यूज मत करो प्लीज।
ओके सर।
एसए में टेम्पलेट यूज कर करके लोगों का स्कोर कम हो रहा है। ऐसे में टेम्पलेट यूज मत करो।
ओके सर।
हाँ
सर अमेज में वो हमें ऐसे कहते थे जब हमने इंस्टीट्यूट में क्लासेस लाई थी कि जैसे आपको कोई इमेज आ जाती है, जैसे हम बोल देते हैं द द इमेज गिव्स इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट, इमेज के बारे, जो इमेज का हेडलाइन होती है वो बोल देते हैं। उसके बाद आई कैन सी कुछ वर्ड बोल देते हैं 2-3, उसके बाद आई कैन सी कुछ
हाँ,
नंबर
देखो
बोल।
ये टेम्पलेट का क्या प्रॉब्लम है, देखो सी, स्पीकिंग की बात कर रहा
यस।
हूँ। if you use template for describe image, you will see, like for example, let me show you this image. Okay, let me show this. Hmm, okay, इसमें इसमें टेम्पलेट में कैसा होता है पता है? दिस इज अ वेरी इंफॉर्मेटिव पिक्चर, दिस इज अ ब्यूटीफुल पिक्चर। इसमें ब्यूटीफुल क्या है, तुम बताओ?
यस सर।
टेम्पलेट ऐसे ही होता है ना, इट्स अ ब्यूटीफुल पिक्चर, इट्स क्या बोलते हैं, हाँ, इंफॉर्मेटिव पिक्चर। ये सब कोई मतलब बनता है ये वर्ड्स का, ये सेंटेंस का,
नो।
ब्यूटीफुल पिक्चर और इंफॉर्मेटिव पिक्चर का? जो है वो बोल देना ना. द लाइन ग्राफ शोज इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट, ऊपर टाइटल क्या लिखा है? द लाइन ग्राफ शोज इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट एनुअल इंसिडेंस रेट्स ऑफ हार्ट डिजीज एंड डायबिटीज, and the
Yes.
figure is given from 2008 to 2016. ऐसे करके डायरेक्ट जो दिखता है वो बोल देना ना. क्यों ये सब करने का? इट्स अ ब्यूटीफुल पिक्चर.
सर हमें
हाँ
ग्राफ का ऐसे बोलते थे कि आप वहां पर जैसे ऐसे बोल देना, द ग्राफ शो द इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट अ heart diseases. There are different categories in this graph, such as years and numbers. The data is calibrated into numbers. Firstly, the maximum value find in 2016 and minimum value find in 2018. There are some value in this graph.
हाँ,
Overall, the graph is
लेकिन मैक्सिमम वैल्यू मैंने जब डिस्क्राइब इमेज एक करके दिखाया दिखाया था, तुम थी ना तब?
नो सर, तब मेरी ज्वाइन ही हो रहा था, मैंने कॉल की थी कि तो हुआ कोई टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम आ रही थी।
अच्छा अच्छा, तो ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं. मैंने जो डिस्क्राइब इमेज करके दिखाया था, मैंने सीधा ऐसे ही पॉइंट पे जो लिखा है स्क्रीन पे. आई डोंट रिमेम्बर व्हिच वन आई डिड. लेट मी सी इफ आई कैन गेट इट अगेन. हाँ, पेट ओनरशिप, यस. हाँ, ये वाला मैंने किया था.
ओके।
हाँ, तो अभी मैं करके दिखाता हूँ कैसे बोलना है. देखो, the bar graph illustrates the number of US households that have pets. The total number of households with pets was 84.9 million. The highest pets were dogs, which was 63.4 million, followed by cats with 42.7 million cats. And the least pets were saltwater fish and horses, 1.6 million each. Birds and reptiles accounted for 5.7 and 4.5 million. Other varieties of pets was 5.4 million. Freshwater fish accounted for 11.5 million.
ओके सर।
ऐसा ये सब टेम्पलेट, ये अगर वो लोग कुछ इंस्टीट्यूट्स में ऐसे ही सिखाएंगे. हाँ, तुम ब्यूटीफुल पिक्चर, इट इज ब्यूटीफुल पिक्चर. ब्यूटीफुल पिक्चर क्या है उसमें? उसमें ब्यूटीफुल क्या है? And ये templates please use one. Neeraj, I don't know about your institute. I cannot comment on which institute it is or what they do or how they teach, but templates are a strict no for PTE. No templates. Use your own words. Okay? The bar graph illustrates the number of US households that have pets. Use your own words. Don't use templates for essays or for speaking. And AI, as I told you, AI is not dumb. AI can catch you. And it recognizes, immediately it recognizes if you use a template, and it will not give you a score. Just in Pearson, official Pearson AI, and the portal that you practice with your institute are entirely different. Okay. See, AP UNI. See, this portal that I'm using today for this demo session is close to, Pearson's AI, PTE AI. So this will give you the accurate score. But the other portals that are developed by institutes, you can't be sure whether they are as accurate as Pearson. And some institutes, and some institutes, they develop portals in such a way that the students feel that they get a high score.
सर अगर हमने जब हमारा पेपर बुक होता है उनके फ्यू डेज पहले हमने जो पियर्सन्स के टेस्ट बाय करने हो जाते हैं, जैसे हमें वहां का स्कोर
हाँ, वो बाय कर सकती हो ना तुम, वो बाय कर सकती हो ना. हाँ, लेकिन थोड़ा महंगा है. 9,000 रुपए का आता है. 2 टेस्ट मिलते हैं, फुल मॉक टेस्ट. 2 टेस्ट 9,000 रुपए का आता है.
ओके सर.
Okay, so
ओके
I hope you guys were able to get some information about PTE. If you have any other questions, you can contact, your respective counselors or whoever you're in contact with, and they will help you. All right?
सर कल क्लास लगेगी?
No, this was just a master class. तुम्हें किसने कांटेक्ट किया था?
सर मेरे को एक मैम ने कांटेक्ट किया था, वो कह रहे थे।
उनका नंबर है तुम्हारे पास?
यस सर, मैं आपको बताती हूँ, 1 सेकेंड।
नहीं नहीं, मुझे मत बताओ, उनको कॉल करो करो।
ओके सर।
हाँ, उनको कॉल करो डायरेक्ट। तुम कहाँ पे रहती हो, कहाँ से हो?
सर पटियाला से।
पटियाला में? अच्छा अच्छा, ओके ओके।
सर आपका इंस्टीट्यूट कहाँ पर है जो ऑफलाइन क्लासेस लानी हो?
या गुजरात में है इंस्टीट्यूट।
ओके सर।
नहीं, ऑनलाइन क्लासेस भी होता है यहाँ।
ओके ओके सर।
इफ यू वांट यू कैन ज्वाइन ऑनलाइन क्लासेस आल्सो, नो प्रॉब्लम।
ओके सर।
ओके,
सर 1 मंथ की फीस कितनी है?
वो मुझे
और
आइडिया नहीं है। वो
ओके
जो
सर।
तुम्हें मैम ने कॉल किया था ना, तुम उनसे पूछ लेना ये बात, ठीक है ना?
ओके ओके
वो
सर।
सारा डिटेल्स वो तुम्हें बता देंगे, ठीक है ना?
ओके ओके सर।
Okay. Okay then, people. Thank you for joining. We'll see you. Bye.